Buddy, it's Jill Blanchette with Green Thumb Stampers. I'm here tonight with my fourth and final alternate project for the Spooky Treats Paper Pumpkin Kit from September of 2022. This is the card we're going to make. This is a little bit of the Paper Pumpkin Kit here with the piece that I got left over from the other cards that I made. And then I was doing my Fond of Autumn class, note card class samples, and decided to use that. This I made up at my mom's, so I got a little bit of mom inspiration going on there as well. Here is the stamp set that we use, the Fond of Autumn stamp set. Yes, I know that that's not what comes in the kit, but this one it's only going to use that piece of paper. And then I used this die from the Autumn Bouquet dies that coordinates with the Fond of Autumn. This die here will cut out, let me show you, it will cut out each of these things separately. So this comes out, these leaves come out, and then these come out separately from this one die here. So you get a whole bunch of separate pieces that you could do something with. If you want the whole thing, then you can use this outline die here. It's got a lot of great dies in it. And my Fond of Autumn class utilizes a lot of that fun stuff. So if you did not sign up for the note card class, I guess let me know if you're interested. So I'm going to go back to what I'm doing here. Paper pumpkin alternate. So I have a, let me put this over here. I have a base that is 11 inches by 5.5. You could score it at 4 1/4, or just fold it in half and give it a good crease. I've got one layer that is on the 1/8 of basic white, and that is 5, let's see what we gotta go. We're gonna go 4 1/8 by 5.5, 5 3/8. I'm gonna glue that down. Glue that to the front. Give that, I got my, then I've got a layer of the Orchid Oasis paper that I have used the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder on. That's in the mini catalog, and it just makes some really cool leaves on there. I'm not sure. Figure out where to put it. I'm just using my phone tonight, so I'm not really sure. I can't really see what you're seeing because my screen's too small. So I'm going to now glue that on as well. And I'm out of tape. Switch to the next one. We're going to glue that on. So you can also determine if you want, it's going to be covered up pretty well. So you're going to have a little bit of a blank space, so it just depends if you want, where you want to put your blank space at. And I think I'm going to put it down in the lower right. Well, it depends when you put the paper in the folder where your blank space is going to end up. Okay. Now I have a 1 3/4 by 4.5 inch piece of crushed curry. And I'm going to use the leaf out of the Fond of Autumn set with some crushed curry ink. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the leaf all over. I got my foam under here because we've got a polymer stamp. We need the extra cushion. I'm just going to stamp my leaf all over on the paper. Off the paper, on the paper, every which way. And again, if you like to move the paper, if you like to move your stamp, it all works the same. This depends. I'm going to fill it up pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Yep, I'm going to stop there. That looks pretty good. Then I'm going to glue that down. I put that flat onto the card base. And I'm not going to really stick it down yet till I get the rest of the... Oh, that'll work. I'm going to put it there. You want to kind of make sure you're centered top and bottom, and we'll try and come in the same width when we get to the next piece. So then we've got our final piece of paper from the other kit cards that we were making. And the 3 cards we used up one of these box covers. So we want to cut this down to 2 inches to get rid of this little bit of an angle right there. So I'm going to cut this down to 2 inches and just cut that off. And then we can go ahead and leave it the length that it is. Should be about 2 3/4. I've got my trio punch. We're going to round the corners. I like to stick it in underneath and punch. And it's not going to play nice, so we'll do it this way. Oh, this punch might like to be just set down. So I've cut all 4 corners off. I'm going to set that there. Then I have a piece of white that is a little bit wider. It's still I went 2.5, but it's just 1/4 inch bigger. So let me tell you, it's 2.5 by 2 1/4. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to round the corners. And then in the stamp set is just a note, so I'm going to use that. And I just used it in black. You could use the Orchid Oasis if you want, but I liked black for it. It still looks nice with the black and everything else. So I'm going to put just a note down here. Then we're going to go ahead, I'm going to glue these down. Put this over here. I want the blue. I'm going to put that out about the same width. Then this one's going to cover them both and come down about the same width. So I'm going to stick that down the rest of the way. Glue this one on. Like there. Probably could move this one up just a smidge. I like this paper, so I want to make sure to maximize how much of it we can see. And then I have a piece of scrap white and the giant stamp from the stamp set, and I'm just gonna go ahead and ink this up. I just want the oak leaves and stuff and the acorns in the middle, so that's all that I need to worry about having on my paper. You're gonna probably get more, but doesn't matter. When we go to cut it out, it's going to cut around it all anyway. So then I've got some of my Stampin' blends. I've got a light gray granite that I'm just going to color in the caps with. Like this. I've got a light crumb cake that I'm going to come down and do the acorns with. I'm going to fill in the whole acorn. Like this. And then I have the light soft suede that I'm going to come through to darken that up a little bit. And then I'm not filling it in all the way. I want to leave it with some of the color showing through. So I'm just doing some strokes that leave the rest of it showing through. And now I won't color all the rest too much, but I will show you. I came through with my light gray granite again on these swirly gigs because the die will cut them out. So I gave them a little bit of color. I'll just do one leaf. I colored the whole leaf in with some daffodil. I don't like that end, it's smashed. Colored that in with some Daffodil Delight light Stampin' blend. Then I accented with my crushed curry. Oh no, it might be terracotta. Dark Cajun Craze. So I'm going to accent that. And then I also have some of the light pumpkin pie that I'm going to come in and do the same thing. I'm just random kind of spreading that around on there just to give the leaf some more variation. And then I also did the little bit of old olive in there. Tried to get just a little smattering of that in there. And then I did the same thing on these couple of leaves down here. I just don't want you to forget them because they will cut out with the die. Even though it doesn't kind of really match. I just did those real quick and not. And then if you run it through your embossing machine, cut and emboss machine with that big die I showed you, it will cut it out like this. So you get these swirlies, you get the acorns, it cuts out a few little holes in it. Then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. And pop that up on the front of the card. And then I just kind of looked for it to cover a lot of ground, kind of poke off onto each of the pieces. And I guess there's not really any other way to put it if you look at it, I guess. Otherwise the acorns will be upside down. So something like this, and then I just poked it down on there. And so there you go, guys. This is the fourth and final card for this kit, and